How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Iron King YouTube channel. My name is Quentin, and behind me is something very special. So I just got a call a couple weeks ago from a really good customer of mine that said they had an old truck sitting out in the boneyard, and they were gonna end up scrapping it, or they're like, Quentin, come out here. If you want to get it, it's yours. And this is what was sitting out there. It's a 1984 Peterbilt 359. I have no idea why it was parked, when it was parked, what the reason was, but I figured, let's go pick this thing up. Casey, the man, got the wrecker out here. We went out to the mine, picked this thing up, and now we're gonna bring it back to the shop and go through it.
The model of this truck this is what everybody who wants a classic 359 wants, is this model.
And it was sitting out.
We're gonna show you, but we already ratchet strapped the doors.
Yeah,
closed.
exactly. We'll have to check that out when we get back to the shop. But there's a lot of cool and special things about this truck that we're gonna go ahead and check out here pretty soon. I just cannot believe it was sitting out in a boneyard. Imagine all of the things that are sitting out in these random places that are just waiting to be discovered. That was one of them. We saved it from the crusher. All right, we're making our way, cruising through the mountains. Got the truck on the back. Everything's going well, as of right now.
So far,
we're looking good. Well, we just made it to the peak of this giant mountain range out here. We're gonna start dropping down into a small little town here, and then probably another 150 miles until we're back to the shop. Everything's still looking good. Well, we just made it through the last small town. Next stop is the shop. We made it back. And I think the truck is still in one piece. We haven't looked yet. I think it's all still there.
It's back there. I made it before sundown, and before they turned the heater off in the shop.
I think I have at least one employee left working, so that's good. Stop. Okay, now you can wave them on. Stop right there. Can you get the door closed?
Worked.
Precision driving on your part, that was perfect.
My plan was just to get it like in front of the door and then shove it in with the forklift, but...
No, this worked out great. This is like exactly where I want it, and then we can show these guys some more about this truck either today or tomorrow, and
yeah. I'll get it set down and you can start talking about it.
Okay. All right, so we just got the truck pushed into the shop. Let's get a closer look at this Peterbilt. So I believe our data tag is in here. It is, you can barely see it right there, but it's a 1984 Peterbilt 359. And a little bit of a backstory, as I mentioned earlier, a mine called me and said that they had this truck sitting out in their boneyard and they were gonna scrap it, or I could come pick it up. I chose option 2. Honestly, for being at a mine, it's in really good shape. There's one little frame looks like it possibly cracked right here, and then they re-welded it. It's been plated. I mean, the paint's been rubbed off it, but I don't see any major rust issues. This is all just like surface scale here. A little bit of damage right here on the back. And look at this. New brakes. Look at those pads. They virtually have no use on them, and that's for all four. The paint isn't too bad, but you can, as you can see right here, it's not very well laid down. So when they painted it, unfortunately, it's starting to peel really bad. I think possibly a Comet wash would clean this thing up. Check out the chrome here. Like, this is cleaning up super nice, and I'll bet you the same would happen for our grill surround right here too. Looking at these fenders too, little dent right here, but the rest of the truck is unbelievably straight, especially for being at a mine. No other like major dents. There's obviously like little tiny little nicks and stuff in it. Little tiny nick right there on the bumper. Little one right here, but no major dingers. Now, as you guys might know, I work at Iron King, which what we do is we tear down heavy equipment for parts, rebuild the components, and then resell them. This truck though, I've got plans for. We're not tearing this thing down. We're gonna save it. I'm thinking partial restoration, get it back on the road. Now, I don't know if this thing runs. I bought it not running, and it's been sitting for a very, very long time. Let's go ahead and check out the interior. So I'm not sure what you call this, but it's not diamond tuck. I think it's above that, whatever that trim level was. And then something about a special dash in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a light in here and brighten this up so we can see a little bit better inside. Coming up inside here, I believe this is what they call the Corvette dash. Not sure, maybe someone can correct me. If you look inside, it's very dirty, and there is a ton of mouse poopy, but it's not like majorly tore up. So, okay, we've got a piece of wood here because the back window is blown out of it and that seat's ripped, but there's not a lot of stuff missing that I don't think we can replace. So I think we can replace it if there is some stuff missing out of here. Look at this. Old time clock. You can tell by all the inch-thick dust that's been sitting for a pretty long time. We got oil pressure. What else do we got? Water temperature, air. I wonder if there's an EGT gauge on this. Oh yeah, right there. Look at that, a manual EGT. Well, I guess they're all manual, but that's pretty cool. Front driver, hub temperature. That must be hub temperature. It's got a 13-speed transmission. This has been taken apart partially. I don't know why, but it looks like they took one switch out of here for something and then just left it apart. So hopefully we can get that back together. I think it's got manual steering too. But yeah, overall, super complete. Under the hood here, we've got, now I'm not a Cummins guy, so I believe it's an NTC 350, which is what this data tag says. It also says Cummins reman. Now, I have no idea if this thing runs or not. As I said before, I bought it not running and pulled it out of a ditch. So we'll have to look into this thing and see if we can get it started. I wonder where the oil pressure or the oil dipstick is on this thing. Here we go. It's got some in it. So look at these oil filters, 8, 6 of 15. So, and that could mean a lot of things. It hasn't run in 7 years, or they've just kept up on it to appease certain organizations like MSHA or OSHA, so that they keep their equipment in tip-top shape before they tagged it out. Now, this truck has one major problem. The mine never parks a good truck or any good piece of equipment. Now, I get it, it looks a little rough, but I want to find out what the actual reason was of why they parked it. Was it because it was old and outdated, or was it because we have a bad engine or a bad transmission? We're gonna find that out. That's been left open. At least the hood's been closed. Oh boy, there could be a problem right here. Uh-oh. If you look down there, there is what appears to be mouse poopy. That's not good. Other than that, it appears to be super complete. So here's some data tags. Here's all the patents, so if they sold this truck out of the country. Look at that old school air conditioning. Old school torpedo lights, air horn, awesome visor. This tank appears to, I wonder how much fuel's in this thing. It's empty. Oh no, it's got some in it. I can see it in there. Everything underneath here appears to be in pretty good shape. Everything still rotates there on the drive shaft. It's got a PTO, which would have been for the water tank. Here's some data tags on our axles. So, what do we do with this truck? Wonder if there's any batteries left in it. No batteries. So this thing was going to be stored for a very long time. What an awesome truck. So I've got major plans for this truck. It is not gonna sit here and rot away like it was over at that mine. Now, in the next video, we're gonna see if we can get this thing fired up and running after over 10 plus years of sitting. So if you guys wanna see that video, make sure you like this one and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned, because I'm gonna be working hard here in the shop, working on getting this thing fired up and running. So what is the major flaw of this truck to where the mine parked it for over 10 years? I don't know, but I have a feeling we're gonna find out.